AI music will eventually and almost inevitably take over human made music, which means in the future it could be possible, if anything inevitable, that when you go to listen to music, 99.99999% of the time, it is AI generated. This is going to be a very fireside chat style video. I've wanted to do this video for a long time. I've hinted at it in a lot of these AI music videos I've done. And you may have noticed I've done a lot recently, right? I know that I typically post like music production tutorials, free VST, plugin reviews, music distribution videos, and I still do those, of course. But I've done a lot of videos about AI music because it's a very hot topic and a lot of very interesting things going on. And I think this one that I'm going to talk about in this video is, in my mind, the biggest pressing matter for me personally, and the thing I'm actually most interested in. I'm more interested in this topic than AI music generators being really good, whether it's Suno or Udio, whether it's turning your own voice into a song like I've already done, whether it's, I don't know, the possibility of releasing it on Spotify, whatever the case is. And it comes down to this. There's a bunch of different ways I've heard this called, whether it's the dead internet theory, AI content singularity, AI content overload, AI content saturation. There's a bunch of different ways I've heard this called. And all these theories come down to this one idea. That basically it's this. Because AI, artificial intelligence, can pump out content, I'm going to stress that word first, so quickly and easily, over time, it could be very, very possible and almost inevitable that, like, say, if you're on Twitter and you're conversing with somebody, or you post something on Twitter and you get a bunch of replies, that 99.999% of the time, those are going to be bots. It's going to be AI. And it becomes almost this reverse Turing test, or I guess maybe actually just the Turing test in an odd Black Mirror-ish way, that you have no idea if you're talking to a human or a robot or AI. And if anything, more likely than not, just given the speed and ease of AI creating content, that you probably are talking to mostly bots, and you could feel like you're in this vast wasteland, this maybe vacuum of space that no humans are around you, and all your scenery exists is just AI. Now, taking this a step further, this is, again, very Black Mirror-ish, very sci-fi, but we're approaching this now. And the reason why I want to do this video about this, I've been wanting this video for so long, is because I see this happening with AI music quicker than you think, and not only quicker, but it's already happening. AI music is already taking over platforms. There's one article I was reading, and I did talk about it briefly in one video when I asked or talked about, can you release AI music on Spotify? To simplify that entire video, there's not a clear-cut answer of yes or no, but I'm just going to say yes. If someone pressed me to say yes or no, you have to give a black or white answer, no gray area, I'd say yes. And here's the thing. Spotify, based off different research that people have done, is now already recommending AI music. And if you think about it, like Spotify, Pandora, a lot of radio station-like platforms, they take a song that you like, you click Start Station, or you play that song. And what happens is, unless you're on a very specific playlist, which is a whole other thing in itself, if, say, you're just on that specific human artist profile, Spotify will typically, and it makes sense based off the algorithm, will say, you know what we're going to do is we're going to play other songs that are similar to this one that we think you might like based off the musical quality, the genres, the elements in the song, the ambiance, the vibe, etc., etc. Here's where things now get really tricky. Bring this now to the main point of this video. Like I said right in the beginning, since it's so easy to make songs using an AI music generator, since it's so easy to make what people are now just calling AI music, which is basically music created by AI, it could be possible that 99.999% of those songs now that are recommended to you on Spotify are in fact AI. They're humans, or maybe not, as AI gets even smarter, and that's a whole other thing in itself, going deeper down the rabbit hole. But for now, that means that, say, what could be very likely, and I'm going to say inevitable unless something changes, is a human creates an artist profile, they make a bunch of songs in seconds with AI tools, they then post them on Spotify, and so when you're scrolling through or listening through all these different recommended songs, it's going to be mostly AI music. And I'm going to say, unless something changes, this is almost inevitable. And here's the main reason why. It's pure like statistics at the end of the day. I'm not exactly sure how many songs are uploaded to Spotify, for example, a day, or how many songs are released via DistroKid a day, but it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And if you think about it, let's say it's, you know what? As we're talking about this, I'm going to Google this. How many songs are released on? Okay. So according to this, there is, according to May of 2023, there is 120,000. Wow, that's a lot. That was actually way more than I thought it would be. About 120K new music audio files per day added per day. Yeah, wow, that's insane. Although I'm seeing one report here saying about 50,000 new songs per day on Spotify. So it is tough to say. 50K to, like, say 120K is a huge spread. So let's just say 100K-ish, right? So there's 100,000-ish new songs being uploaded to Spotify every day. I think it's probably closer to 50K because I've seen, this seems like to be different conflicting reports. So let's lower it down to 50K, right? I guess now that I think more about it. 50,000 new songs uploaded to Spotify every single day. And if you think about it, think of how long it takes the average artist to, let's say, release a 10-track album. Well, for most, I've noticed, I feel like it's about a year. Now, yes, some people do it way faster. Some people do it way slower. But for most people, let's say it's 10 songs in a year. Or let's say you're an EDM artist and singles are big right now in EDM, or I feel like for most genres too. So you're looking at about, let's say, 50,000 new songs on Spotify every single day. And let me ask you, if you had to make 50,000 songs, like, say, on your own as a human, or you had to use an AI music generator to create 50,000 songs, which one would be faster? Of course, using the AI music generator. And this is where things get really, really tricky. And I'm making numbers up now. Now I'm making numbers up. But let's say every day there's 50,000 new human songs, right? Human songs are released on Spotify every day. But every day, let's say, at least at the exact time of this video, there are 5,000 AI-generated songs released every day. When you think about it, 50,000 human songs, 5,000 AI songs. Okay. But then over time, every day, now there's 10,000 AI songs, but still only 50,000 human-made songs. 25 AI-generated songs, 50,000. And the thing is, at some point, and we might already be there. It is tough to say, but we might already be there. At some point, there will be more AI-generated songs being posted on Spotify every day compared to human-made songs. When will this happen? This almost like breaking point, if you call it like the Spotify singularity for AI music versus human-made music. When will we get to that point? One, I don't think we'll ever know. Honestly, I don't think, because it's really difficult to distinguish between AI music and human-made music. Unless you interviewed every artist ever released, who have ever released anything on Spotify, you probably are never going to know, right? I don't think it's possible. You never know. Maybe you could have, from like a meta perspective, an AI bot or an AI or some type of algorithm be able to siphon through all the music and be able to actually determine, maybe there is some complex algorithm that you could develop to actually determine, is this AI human? But even still, it is inevitable, and it may have already happened, where there's going to be more AI music being released on Spotify every day compared to human-made music. And as a result, it's not going to slow down. If anything, it's going to speed up. With all the AI music videos, or all the videos I've made about AI music on this channel, the amount of comments I've gotten are pretty ridiculous, of tons of people, and I know this is not uncommon whatsoever, saying, hey, I'm an AI artist. I've been hearing that a lot. People saying, oh, I'm an AI artist. I make music using AI music generators, and I release it via DistroKid, and it goes on Spotify, it goes on all these different platforms, Apple Music, Rdio, Deezer, Tidal, etc. I'm an AI artist, and more people are doing that. I remember testing it out, saying, how quickly could I make an album, a full-length, like say 10-track album, with using an AI music generator? I did it with Suno, in case you're curious. It took me about, I'd say, after I kind of listened to each one and be like, okay, that's a good one, that's a bad one, because it creates 2 iterations per prompt, 5 to 10 minutes, like just say 10 minutes to give like the upper epsilon. So I made a 10-track album in 10 minutes, as opposed to if I were to make a 10-track album and I wanted it to be good as a human, it would take me, what, a year? Unless I'm like really powering through, or unless I'm doing whatever. Like, so you're looking at the amount of time to create songs being shortened aggressively. And if you think about it, I could easily release a 10-track album every day. I mean, let me even take that a step further. I mean, I don't know if I had to like speedrun it. I'd be curious to see how many songs you could release on DistroKid in one day using an AI music generator. That should be a fun challenge. Like in 24 hours, how many songs can I upload on DistroKid from AI? I don't know what it would be, but if I could make say, let's say I can make one song a minute, right? And there's, what is it, 3,600 minutes in a day, right? I actually may have to Google that. I think that's right. Right, wait. How many minutes in a day? Oh, okay, sorry. 1,440. So there's 1,440 minutes in a day. Let's say it takes me 1 minute of collective time to create that, download it, and re-upload it onto DistroKid. Probably longer than that. So let's just say 1,000 to give like a very just easy number. I could upload 1,000 songs to DistroKid a day, theoretically, if I'm working fast and I'm efficient, all that kind of stuff. That's 1,000 new songs every day people could be uploading. And people are doing this right now. I know people who are I stress the word mass, producing AI music songs, using AI music generators. They're doing it unbelievably quickly. They take them, they immediately upload them to DistroKid. You could easily release, like I said, a new full-length album every day if you want to. You start your day, it'd probably take you, honestly, from start to finish about an hour. Where, like, say, or maybe even shorter, maybe close to half an hour. But again, just because you have to create the album artwork, you have to upload it, you have to maybe do some meta stuff in terms of meta tagging and putting in some details, all this kind of stuff. It would take you maybe a half an hour to an hour. And every day you could wake up, and this is what people are doing. Create an album, a 10-track album, for example, just to make it very easy. You post it on DistroKid or release it via DistroKid. It goes on every platform, boom. And this is happening every day. And the main point of all this that I'm saying, with all these numbers and all these kind of analytics and statistics I'm giving, it just comes down to this. It is going to get to the point, and again, we could already be there, but I don't think we're there yet, but it's going to get to the point where there's going to be an astronomical amount of AI music being uploaded on Spotify every day, or DistroKid every day, compared to human-made music. There's going to be a huge gap. Right now, I think the gap's probably here. Who knows? It may have already passed, right? But I think probably, if I had to guess, human-made music is maybe here for the amount of releases per day on DistroKid. AI music may be like here. So it's definitely getting a lot of steam. I don't know if it's crossed that barrier yet, but it could have already happened, right? And it's going to get to the point, though, where it's going to get insane. And it's already happening with the exponential growth. And it's tough to track, because it's really tough to track. With the exponential growth of so many people just using AI music, like I know some artists who were trying to make their own music, who were getting into music production. They were using Ableton. And it got to the point where they're like, you know what? Why spend all this time learning production and learning Ableton and spending years to get good at it when I can just type in one sentence on Suno or Udio and get a way better produced song that would take me 5 years to get to making in terms of difficulty or expertise in production. And I see both sides of this. I hate to say it. On one end, I'm like, come on, you got to learn production. Like, come on, But on the other end, I'm like, I kind of get it. That if you just want to have a song and you want to use it on your own, like I personally know artists who were actually, like I said, starting production, releasing their own actual tracks that they actually started to make and completely abandoned all of that to just use AI tools and just release it however they want. And so along with this, like I said, it comes down to this one fundamental factor that I'm very curious to see how this will affect music and listening in the future. That when you now, at some point, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who knows, when you're just letting Spotify go through its recommended, or you're on Pandora going through recommended, or whatever, that almost every song you're going to hear, except maybe one diamond in the rough, will be AI. And I think this is inevitable. This is some type of policy changes, some type of way to weed AI out. And like I said, Spotify's already recommending AI songs. There's one article I read, I think it was almost like they did a lot of digging. I think it was something along the lines of that on Spotify recommended for like 1 week or whatever it was, half those songs were AI. So we're already getting to the point where like AI music is now it's just dominating human-made music. And again, I know this is maybe very pessimistic for a lot of my musicians out there. I know this is very Black Mirror-ish, but I think the tricky thing is there's going to be a point, and who knows when we're going to reach it, but there's going to be a point where the only way, statistically, just given the roll of the dice, there's going to be a point where the only way you're going to be able to hear a human-made song is if you directly go to that artist, one, and two, you directly know they're actually human. Let's say you discover a random artist, call them Joe Schmo. I know I use that example a lot. And you're like, oh, Joe Schmo is great. They make this kind of jazzy music. I like jazz. All right, cool. You dig through Joe Schmo's stuff. But next thing you know, you're like, you know what? I'm going to follow Joe Schmo on Instagram. I'm really liking Joe Schmo's music. I like the jazz music. Do they play saxophone or trumpet? Like, what do they play in their band? And then you go on their Instagram and you realize, oh, wait, this Joe Schmo dude or girl, actually lack of either, it's a bot. That's all it is. And you're like, wait, this is an effing AI music artist. And this is very, very inevitable. And like I said, it's going to require these two steps. To one, if you do want to listen to human-made music, you have to directly go to it. Directly go to it knowing it's a human, like Lady Gaga, Drake, Skrillex, etc. And two, though, not only do you have to go directly to it, but you also have to know they're human. It's both. Both you going out of your way to listen to a human, and secondly, you knowing it's a human. Because I've discovered artists where I did not know, who they were, and then obviously I got to know they were human, obviously. But it could be in the future that maybe you discovered artists, you like them, and it's kind of that odd, again, Black Mirror Turing test where you're like, wait, I'm really liking this artist. Like their catalog's really good, but are they a human or are they AI? And this is going to be a bigger question to have to answer as time goes on. And I know that this video, again, very, very fireside chat style video, very me just kind of talking off the cusp, bring up different points here and there. But I think it's important to bring this up because, like I said, the whole dead internet theory, AI content singularity, the AI content saturation, it is inevitable that more and more tweets are now being posted by bots than humans. More and more content is now being released and posted by AI than humans. And this directly correlates with music that at some point, and again, we might be there or not, like I said, there's going to be way too many AI songs because it's so easy and quick to make them and to post them online compared to human-made songs. There's going to be so many that it's going to be almost impossible to listen to a human-made song given the statistics. It's going to be a 0.001% chance that if you're just letting Spotify do its recommended thing, there's going to be like a 0.001% chance that the next song you listen to will actually be human, given the oversaturation of AI music because it's so easy to release and post on Spotify. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know not the most exciting video, especially for a lot of my musicians, because I know a lot of people who watch my videos are actually beginners. I know that's probably my biggest demographic if I look at the spectrum of expertise. When it comes to a lot of my videos, I find a lot of people are typically beginners who are just learning Ableton. They're just releasing their newest single. They're just kind of getting into the music world. And I could see this being a bit disheartening, being like, oh shoot, where I'm busting my butt trying to get so good at production in Ableton, or I'm trying to get really good at singing vocals or writing bars or whatever you do, whatever your genre is. I'm trying to get really good at playing guitar. Why get so good when I can just pull up Suno and type in, make me a rock song about, Los Angeles or Boston or I don't know. And then you now have an entirely well-made rock song that could be even better than anything you could ever make. And if anything, it might even perform even better. And it could be because AI music's getting so much smarter. There are some songs I've listened to from AI music that I'd prefer compared to a human-made song. And that brings up another big kind of existential question. It's like, if, say, people start preferring AI music because it's just so much better than human-made music, that also brings up this whole other thing that with more AI tools getting smarter and more AI music generators getting better, it makes sense that Spotify might recommend those songs more because Spotify is just using the algorithm and saying, hey, well, people listen to these songs longer. These songs are better. They're better produced. They're better arranged. And it could be that people might prefer that more than human-made songs. Again, I know this is very Black Mirror-ish, but I think the trickiest thing about this whole video and about what's going on is, one, I don't know when we're going to cross that point. We may already have. I don't know when we're going to cross the point where there's going to be more AI music posted on Spotify compared to human-made music, but we may have already crossed that point. And two, unless there's some checks and balances put into place, again, how would you do this? I genuinely don't know. But unless there's some kind of checks and balances put into place, it is almost inevitable that now, whether it's in a year, 2 years, 5 years, could be even sooner than we think. It's almost inevitable that when you go to listen to music on any streaming service, on any platform, 99.999% of the time it's going to be AI. And to find a human-made song, unless you go to the profile directly, would be near impossible. And it'd be like finding a diamond in the rough when it comes to finding any human made music.